We are so much privileged. We are so happy to welcome this program that is going to enable our private teachers, support our private teacher by receiving this fund. Indeed, we welcome this program for the teachers in private schools. It has been so far 2 years that the teachers in private schools have not received salary. They have been depending on other activities beside the professional work. And indeed, we are so happy that this has come handy at the time that we are planning to reopen all our learning institutions in a very safe and sustainable manner. We are very grateful to the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development for coordinating this activity. And we are very much appreciative to give directly for this program. The guidelines are very clear, and the criteria, who is to receive, who is not to receive, is very clear. It's going to be read in the press statement. My humble appeal is to the private teachers who have not registered, who are still living without registration, without licenses, especially the schools. For the private teachers, this is a time and a lesson that you get registered. And for all private schools, because when the school is not licensed, not known by the Ministry of Education, it will not be part of this program. They will not benefit. So it is a moment for us to open the eyes of the private institutions to be fully registered, fully licensed with the Ministry of Education and Sports. My second appeal is to the school inspectors, to the DEO, the head teachers. Let's embrace this program and give the reliable data, effective data that is accurate to enable timely program rollout. And also want to appeal to all the chief administrative officers, the town clerk, to supervise this activity so that we realize all this we have been waiting for. Last but not least, I know that a lot of questions will be raised. Why are we giving for secondary and primary teachers in private schools? And I must say that we move one step at a time. Recall we gave to some categories of the teachers. Now it is time for the private teachers in primary and secondary. Resource willingly in future, when resource allows, we will roll out to other categories, the tertiary institutions and the pre-primary. So that question should not really be so much that we have forgotten them. No, we've not forgotten them. Ladies and gentlemen, this program has come at a time when my ministry is at a time of rolling out, releasing the 20 billion, the presidential pledge that was pledged for the private teachers associations, their circle, in a revolving manner. This has come at a time when this money will be released to the private teacher circle through Microfinance Support Center. And for that matter, we once again call upon the Teachers Association, the different circles. Let's try to give the right information, the right association, so that the 20 billion presidential pledge is realized. As I conclude, I also want to thank the Teachers Association leadership. The NAPSTA, the chairperson is here, and the other teachers associations. I'm very grateful that we journey with them for a very long time, and I'm sure they will be in support of this program to supervise, to ensure that the right beneficiary receive this fund.
Teachers and schools, the Ministry of Education is in charge. So this program, we are going to execute it. Two government ministries together with Give Directly The details of how much, the details of eligibility, the PS Gender will give you a comprehensive statement, but I wanted to give you a preliminary to state that government has taken due process, engaged with Give Directly, and has now permitted them to start operating. That's why we are starting this partnership, which partnership will start with the payment of teachers in private school, and all other programs that they had been undertaking will now take off from here onwards.
In situations of humanitarian crisis, we believe that I think putting money directly into people's hands not only enables them to choose what they think is best for them, but also supports local markets, because this money then goes to the traders who provide a number of essential items that are usually needed in humanitarian situations. I think so. Therefore, our approach to poverty alleviation and humanitarian relief, we approach it with humility, with respect, and a desire to empower people to get themselves out of poverty, or whatever crisis they might be in at this point. And therefore, we view this approach as making us partners for these people that are in this need. And I think this approach, also mirrors what government is also doing now, and the statement by His Excellency the President while launching the parish development model, where the focus now is going to be on enabling people and stakeholders to choose for themselves how to get themselves out of poverty, or how to develop themselves. So we see this very much as well in line with government objectives. Finally, I would like to thank everyone that has worked so tirelessly at the Ministry of Gender, the technical team led by PS Chibenge, at the Ministry of Education, Commissioner Sebuchu, the Teachers Associations, and everybody that has worked so tirelessly over the last couple of months to ensure that we design this program well and that we begin its rollout and implementation effectively.
For program. Give Directly, an international non-governmental organization that focuses on poverty alleviation and humanitarian relief via livelihood cash transfers, approached government at that time with additional funds to support vulnerable people who had been impacted by the COVID-19 containment measures. So what we are unveiling today did not start yesterday. We have been engaging with Give Directly since the second lockdown in June last year. Even some of the people we served in July last year were able to resume operations, but the schools up to now have remained closed. So the teachers eligible for this program should fit the following criteria. 1, those teachers should not be on the government payroll. We are aware that some private schools use teachers who are also on the payroll of government. But if such a teacher is registered for this program, he or she will not be eligible the moment that person is on the government payroll. And we're emphasizing this because we know, in spite the lockdowns we've been through, government employees have continued receiving their salaries. They have never stopped earning since March last year. But some teachers in private schools have not earned a single coin. So this program is zeroing down to those. The beneficiary teachers must be duly registered and licensed, must have been teaching in a school licensed or registered by the Ministry of Education and Sports before the beginning of the COVID-19 lockdown of March 2020. That's another criteria, because those schools are the ones that are going to register them and submit their names. they must have been on the payroll of those schools. We are providing this criteria because we are aware 2 years is a long time. Some teachers have moved on, but we want to give them the benefit of the fact that by the time of the lockdown, they were enrolled, they were registered, and they were on the payroll of the school where they are going to be paid from. 4, those teachers must not have benefited from the June to September 2021 Government of Uganda COVID-19 cash support program. I told you that there were 58,000 according to our data. There were 58,000 teachers who benefited. And our system has been configured in such a way that if you enter the name of somebody who benefited, the system will reject that name. So there is no chance that somebody could have benefited and will benefit a second time.
So I represent the 350,000 teachers in this country. I stand here to appreciate, one, the government of Uganda for all the initiatives which have been put in place. It's not easy to take care of every person's need. Represented by Minister of Gender, thank you so much for everything which you've done. I also want to give directly. Like the PS said, something is better than nothing. Even if it has come now, I want to testify on behalf of the teachers who received some money earlier on in June. It depends on how you use this money when it comes to you. Assuming you put it into food, by now you could have forgotten, or even after a week. If you put it into some kind of enterprise, like some teachers were able to start a very small scale shop out of 100,000, sell sugar, sell soap in the village, and they have tried to survive. Others put it into buying livestock. There are people who got piglets, and they are now growing. There are those who got goats, and they are able to survive. So it really depends on what somebody is going to use this money for. But I want to appreciate that the initiative is good. You cannot direct on what somebody is supposed to use the money for. Some might choose to drink it off, and that person may not appreciate. But the other who might put it into an enterprise might appreciate more than the other. So it really differs, and I don't think there is going to be a time when everybody is going to say, this is it. Even if we made this money 1 million, still there will be people complaining. I think we'll agree. There is no money which is not enough, which is enough for everybody. But depends on how you prioritize, how you use that money. And then the other thing I want to comment on is about this. It looks like we want to, it appears like so many times the Ministry of Education has been laboring to explain about the 20 billion. But let me help to explain. Number one, government of Uganda completely has no problem on the 20 billion. They have done their part. The problem lies squarely on the teachers. And that I want to make very clear. There's so many allegations which were made to officials in the Ministry of Education that this money got lost. It was taken. You heard about it. The money is there. And I speak with authority because I've been to all those offices, including Ministry of Finance. The money is there, but it is us. For too long, it is COVID. We thank COVID that it had to bring us together by force. So for too long, we were scattered. So when we came together, now the leadership became a problem. Everybody was struggling that we should be able to manage the money. Until the ministry, with its wisdom, said, no, I think to play it cool, let's have a neutral body, microfinance support center, to manage the money. So every circle in Soroti, I come from Soroti, that's where I work. Every circle in Kaberimaido, Kabong, whichever place, you work with the microfinance support center, you're given the money, and the teachers benefit. And that's what is on the ground right now.